I'm Angela Sullivan, a self-taught artist. My art can be seen at asullivanart.com or angelasacrylics.blogspot.com. I hope you'll go and sign up for my newsletter. It's full of useful information. Today I'll do a painting from start to finish to show you how I apply thick, rich color. Hope you have a good day. Happy painting. Today we're going to paint a cow. I'm just to show you that I can paint something besides a still life. I figured I'd throw that in just for good measure. We're going to draw him out, just a rough draft first. And I like him kind of off center. So we can, let's do a little nose there. I don't want to sound like Bob Ross, the happy little nose. Here we go. Horns. Horns anyone. There. We're going to have a crooked horn. I don't care. I love painting cows because they are so, I love the look of them. They just have the neatest expression. But I will tell you this, and if you follow my blog, you'll already know this, I'm scared of cows. I don't have any. I just love looking at them, though. Sorry for the little skip, but my memory was full and I didn't notice. What I've done during that time is I went ahead and finished drawing him out. This is still with burnt umber. This sketches his body, and we're making him kind of fat. This right here is his veil. We may or may not add that. It's just according to how it looks when we get to that far. I did add in the nostrils and the eyes just for placement with just burnt umber pretty much. This, I finished sketching out his ears, everything else. His ears and his nose, I went back in with a alizarin crimson with a tad of cad yellow light and maybe just a hint of cad red light. And I went in here, we're going to go over this, but I just want that to be as an underpainting, and that's where we are so far. I'm going to go ahead and take some more of that pinkish reddish and put right here for his bottom lip. Now, we are going to make a blonde looking cow. So, I'm going to use some Indian yellow with a little bitty bit of burnt sienna. I don't know if this is on our supply list that will show at the end of the video. I'm going to add a touch of that. I'm using zinc white today. I'm going to add that. We're going to establish some lights. No, that's not light enough. More white. We're going to add some lights down in here. Let's just go ahead and we'll come back over this too. Let's just add in. I'm getting some real light now. I want to come with pretty light color around his nose right there. And then on the highlights of the cow's, whatever you call this thing, body, we're going to add in there. We're going to add in some, this is not light enough. We're going to add in some light right here. We'll go back and add light over that because that is not light as I want it to be. There. Let's add, this is an indication kind of his leg right there, where his leg kind of muscle comes up into that body. If you'll notice, I'm leaving really thick paint strokes, and they'll even get thicker as we go probably. So I just kind of glob that paint on. That's white mixed in with that burnt sienna and that Indian yellow. Alright, we're going to add this lightest light also to these outer edges because we are going to kind of make this cow, I think I'm going to make him, we'll see, a little backlit. So we're going to add some lights right there. Alright, now let's take just a tiny bit, this is a trial, of burnt sienna, and we're going to put a touch of ultramarine blue and a little bit of burnt umber. We're going to come in with some darks. Dark right down here, just kind of wad it, let it flow up into that light. Don't mix it. You just want to add it a little bit. We're going to go ahead and go back in, burnt sienna again, burnt umber, a touch of ultramarine blue. We're going to make some definition. We're coming in right here because we're going to accentuate that face. We are going to come in underneath his bottom lip, and we're going to go ahead and go in here. I'm going to leave that veil off. Hey, like I decided that pretty early. burnt sienna again, burnt umber, ultramarine blue. We're going to come in right here and differentiate that face some more. There we go. Alright, come on up into this little spot we left right there, and we will come back over this with a palette knife. It'll be kind of thick. A little bit, I'm going into Indian yellow and burnt sienna right here. We're going to come down under there and just kind of do in, but kind of leave it also. Fill in there. Okay. I will tell you that a lot of times on the shadow of anything, whether I'm painting a still life or an animal or anything, I'll come in, you'll see in a few minutes, with some white touched in some kind of blue. Usually I'll use ultramarine blue. Sometimes I'll use Magnese blue or something. Phthalo even with a little bit of white, but you have to be careful with the phthalo. Anyway, I'll come in and put a little bit of light in a shadow area, but as long as you're using that blue, it still reads as a shadow. We're going to come in with that burnt umber, burnt sienna, and ultramarine blue again, and we are going to put some in the ear. Don't put it all, don't do it all, don't fill that ear in. Just do hints of it, because what you want to do is read that as a shadowed area. We're going to come in and add a little bit over there. And just kind of leave your brush strokes. I know that takes time to learn to do that, because it took me years. But hopefully this little video will help you somewhat. Alright, we want to come in with that same blue. I am going to add just a touch of white to that to lighten it a little bit. We're going to, and I just want to add this as the shadowed side of his face. We're going to add it there. We're going to add it at the corner of that eye, right under where that horn is, right there. We're going to also add it on this side, just a little under that eye, because it may be a little shadow there. Alright, we're going to take this same ultramarine blue, burnt umber, burnt sienna, and we're going to add this horn in, right there. And then we'll go back and lighten the light side of it, but we're going to add it in now. There we go. Alright. I'm cleaning my brush. Remember I said on my prior videos, I always keep 2 little jars of my solvent. I use that Sansador. I love it because it's low odor and it just has an oily kind of feel. It's nice if you hadn't ever tried it. And I don't get any kind of kickback from that company for saying that. It's a good product. I'm going back in with just a little bit of where we mixed for that nose color, but we're going to add a lot of white to that cad red, alizarin, and cad yellow, but add a lot of white. We're fixing to come back in over this eye. We're going to add a little touch right there, and we're going to go ahead, whoops, I'm going to clean this, that ain't light enough. We want it almost white, but still to have that hint of color. There's that, there. Alright. Now, we're going to come in with some of that same, the light color with those little hints of those shades in it. We're going to come in and work on the nose. Put a highlight right there at the end. Put a highlight across right there. And put one right there under that nostril. And then we're still going to come in. Let me get some more white. And that's zinc white again that I'm using. Still. We're going to come in right there and just leave this paint kind of globbed right there. We also are going to kind of glob some under that bottom lip, if you can see that. Alright. Now, I want to smooth this out just a little. Not much. I still want to leave those brush strokes, but there. Okay. Now, we're going to go in with light, and it's going to be mixed with that burnt umber, Indian yellow mixture, but make it really light. Add a lot of that zinc white to it. We're going to come back in right here and touch in just some on his ears. Leave those strokes thick and built up. There you go. Now, we're going to come in with some ultramarine blue. Pretty much, I didn't clean my brush, so I still got some of those remnants of those other colors, which is going to make it a greenish, bluish. We're going to come in and add some highlight on those horns right there and just leave them there. Alright. Now, cleaning my brush again. I want to come in with just alizarin. I want to get just alizarin and cad yellow and make a pinkish color. It's actually a dark, I wish I could show you my palette, but I just can't. It's a dark pinkish, and I'm going to add some white and make it really light, but it's not going to have that yellow in it, so it's going to be more toward pink. Alright, we're going to add some more to his nose right here and right there. There. And a little bit on his lip. There you go. Alright. Now, there you go. Let's see. Let's go in with some of that. Alright, let's go in with some of that bluish that we just mixed. Add some more white and make it pretty light blue. I don't know if you can see this. Anyway, we're going to come in the side of his face and add a little more definition right there. And a little more right there. We're going to make that a little lighter. And maybe like that. I want to go actually in that ear. And we're not going to go in that ear. Let's get some more white with that touch of Indian yellow and touch of burnt sienna on it, but it's pretty light. We're going to come in around this nose right there and kind of add that in there. And we're going to dip back into that blue one more time, just because I'm establishing that it really doesn't have a deep shadowed side on this cow. It's kind of standing face on in sunlight, but we're going to create a little bit of shadow. Again, we're mixing in zinc white, ultramarine blue. We're going to come in right here where we put that dark, because we want to make that look like shadow also on that leg right there. And you'll see that this will make a big difference when we get kind of finished with our painting. We will add a little bit more blue right there in that ear. And that's about it. Alright. Also, we're going to add that same blue right here under that chin. Just little touches of it. You don't even have to make a definite stroke line or anything. Just enough that we know. We're going to go into that burnt umber pretty much with a little bit of ultramarine blue. And we're going to make a definite crease right here. Not real thick, but just for his little lip. There you go. Now, I do not like to leave any, cow's eyes are pretty black looking. Especially if you're looking at a photo or something like that. Let me just soften that right there just because I want to. And so, I never leave their eyes just flat black. I'm going to go in with some white and a little touch of that alizarin with the white in it. Not any cad red or anything right now at this point. And I want to add a highlight on that lip right there. I always change the eyes. I'll take some of that burnt sienna by itself, add some white, and it's going to make a, I don't like it. We're going to add some Indian yellow in it too. There we go. And we're going to make a light brownish color. And we are just going to touch the side of that. That's a little too much. Not much on that shadowed side. We'll come back in with some ultramarine blue. And we're going to darken that eye back up. But just leave that little hint, if you can see that. And we're also going to come back in with that ultramarine blue on this side and make that a little darker where I lightened it too much. I'm cleaning my brush. This is working. Alright, we're going to leave that cow alone for just a second, because I want to go do something else. We're going to work on some green. To make green, I don't usually use, sometimes I'll use sap green, but not normally. Normally I mix my green and I use cad yellow light, ultramarine blue, and if I want a darker green or a shadowed green, I'll add alizarin crimson to that mixture. And that will give me the shadowed areas. If you will learn to teach yourself and be conscious of it, to always add that red in with that green, that will give you a more believable shadow than you trying to just mix something else to make it dark. I am going to add some alizarin into that, and I'm going to add some cad yellow light. And we're going to make a green. Sometimes in the shadows, your greens can even lean toward that red, And that is perfectly okay for it to do that. It's just according to how much proportion of that you mix as to what color you end up with. If you want a real strong, bright green, sometimes I'll mix phthalo blue with that yellow, and you'll come up with that. And don't be scared to add that red back into that if you need to. This is going to be our green. It's really dark. That's okay. We'll fix it. Just go in to as close to that cow. If you do drag a little bit of the color, that'll be fine. But because we'll fix it. We're putting green, green, green. Again, my website is asullivanart@yahoo.com. My blog is angelasacrylics.blogspot.com, and I've started a newsletter. I would love for you to sign up for that. It is filled with art tips, and I'm going to try to do one at least monthly. Coming in with that green. We're just going to finish this green everywhere that we have background showing. And that looks, we're going to come back in with some lights, and we'll do that in a few minutes. Just go ahead and paint in your green. Alright. Another thing I do, especially if I use any kind of edge wrapped, gallery wrapped canvas, I usually do try to paint the edges. I used to on these panel boards, and if I know they're going to be on an easel, I'll still do that, but sometimes I don't. We're going to go in here with cad yellow light, and just a touch of that green color that we mixed, just to have some variation. We're just going to add some in. Just random brush strokes. Don't be scared to leave them. That's what makes your painting interesting, is if you can make yourself leave those brush strokes alone. Just make sure that you don't have lines that looks like a line. You want it to just be random. Alright, there's our cow. Now, we're almost to be finished, but there is some touch-ups we want to do. We want to go in here. Let's see, do I want to do it with a palette knife? I'll use the brush. We're going to go in here with some of that burnt sienna, Indian yellow, and white. And we want to go in here and add some little strokes. Just let it be kind of loose. Alright? And I told you we were going to kind of backlight this cow, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go into the green again with some of that cad yellow light, and back to the green that we mixed, but we're going to leave it kind of yellowish. And we're going to come in right here at the edge of our cow. Just leaving that there. Now, I'm going to mix some more of that because I didn't mix much. This I'm mixing with a brush. I didn't make like a little pile of it. And you can do it ever how you want to, but that's how I do it. There's that. I'm going to add a touch right there. And that gives us kind of a backlit appearance. Let me clean my brush. We're going to come in now with a palette knife. And I'm going to go into a tiny bit of that ultramarine blue, not much, just a little hint. And we're going to add quite a bit of white because we want this to read as a white looking color. So the ultramarine blue with a little bit of white, and it's gonna be blue tinted but read as white, we hope. We're coming in with the edge. I use this sharp palette knife. I hope you can see it. I don't even know what number it is. But anyway, it has a point. We're going to leave some paint on that palette knife edge. Just run it through the paint. And we actually are going to do a little eyelash right there. We don't want it too dark, but we're going to do that. There's the eyelash. I'm going to wipe my palette knife off. And we are going to go in to that Indian yellow, burnt sienna, and we're going to mix a white looking color with that. It's going to be tinted, but it's not going to be a lot of color when we put it up next side this other color. And we're going to make some hair, some rough hair right there. Just let them brush strokes show. Light it in. We want to come in and make some hair, because cow's hair is kind of rough and just does kind of what it wants to do. There we go. Just let it look like they're having a bad hair day. Alright, now we're going to come in with a little bit of that light color, and I'm going to put right here, just kind of, you can't even hardly tell it, right by the nose. There you go. There. I think I'll also come in with the same color and add, my chair's a little squeaky. Add right here, we're just going to bring some up and let that ear be kind of rough too. Let's just come in with this and do some of that. Now let's come in that other cow ear and do a little bit right there. I'm just letting that just feather out kind of. There's that. There you go. Now, I'm going to come in with some white right here. And I'm going to do just a little spark in that eye, not much. I don't want it too bright. I just want it to look like he's alive. There you go. We're just going to leave that right there for a second. Let's just kind of scrape it down till it's not a definite color. We're going to come back in with a tiny bit of that blue. Nope, not blue. We're going to take in that alizarin crimson and that white that we added. We're going to make a really light little patch of that. And I'm going to come in right here in the nostril, right at the bottom, and I'm going to leave a little bit of that right there, just to kind of make it look like light shining on it. And I'll also just do a little tiny bit right there in that other one. There you go. And I want to take that same color and just do a hint right there on that bottom lip. And I think that'll do. Let's go into this ultramarine blue and burnt umber again, and I want to just add a little definition to that horn. It doesn't even really have to look like that, like a horn kind of. I just want it on to just make that a little darker. That's all. There we go. And I think that's it. We're going to come in once again with this. This is called a paint eraser. I bought this one at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure you can find them other places. It's rubber, and it has a sharp tip with a beveled kind of edge. I'm going to come in here. You know what? I see. I'm going to take and soften that edge again. A little bit more, because I just don't want that to be prominent. So just come over and get rid of some of those lines right there. There. Now, I'm just going to sign my name. I signed mine A. Sullivan. I hope you've had enjoyed watching this. I will be posting more videos on YouTube, so look for them. Angela Sullivan Art. And that's it. Hope you have a good day. Happy painting.